The night sky was darker than usual. Clouds covered the moon. Wind blew through the broken buildings of Earth's last human colony, New Terra. Once a busy city, it now looked like a graveyard of metal and memories. Eli Morgan stood on top of a tall ruined tower, holding his old binoculars. He was 24, smart and stubborn. His father died in the last alien war, and Eli had hated all aliens since that day. He believed Earth needed no one. Not peace, not mercy, just survival. Then, something strange happened. A loud boom cracked the silence. A light, bright and blue, tore across the sky like a falling star. But this was no star. Eli zoomed in with his binoculars. It was a ship, alien, damaged, burning. The ship crashed into the dead zone, a place outside the colony walls. Dangerous. No one dared to go there. The colony's alarm rang. People rushed out of their homes in panic. The council called an emergency meeting. "We have to stay away," said Commander Ruth, a serious woman who trusted no one. "What if it's dangerous?" said another. Eli stepped forward. "I'll go, alone." They looked at him like he was crazy. "You want to die?" asked Ruth. "No," Eli said. "But I want to know if we're already dead and just waiting to be erased. I'll find out what it is and if it's a threat." An hour later, Eli left the colony gates, armed with a pulse rifle, a small drone, and his father's journal. He walked through the dead zone, past rusted machines and dried-up rivers. The air smelled of old smoke and death. When he reached the crash site, he paused. The alien ship was half buried in the ground. It still glowed, softly humming. Eli moved carefully, stepping over broken metal and strange symbols. Then he heard it, a sound, not a machine. A voice. He turned fast, pointing his rifle. There she stood. Tall, silver skin, glowing eyes. A female. Alien, bleeding. She looked at him with anger and fear. Before he could speak, she moved fast. She tackled him to the ground. His rifle flew away. She held a sharp piece of metal to his throat. "Human," she hissed. "Are you the last of your kind?" Eli, surprised but calm, stared into her eyes. "I should ask you the same." She looked confused for a moment. Then, her grip weakened. "I'm not your enemy," she said. Eli didn't believe her. "You just tried to kill me." "I thought you were one of them," she said, her voice weaker now. "They're coming." "Who?" Eli asked. "The colors." "Iles." Face turned pale. That name. It was from the war. His father once mentioned it in the journal. The colors were not normal aliens. They didn't talk. They didn't think. They just consumed. Planets, species, everything. "You're lying," he said. She shook her head. "They followed me here. I tried to stop them. But they're too many." Eli picked up his weapon and aimed it at her. "Why should I trust you?" The alien girl, clearly in pain, looked him in the eyes. "Because I just gave up my immortality to warn you." That made him pause. "Immortality?" She collapsed. Eli caught her before she hit the ground. Her skin was burning hot. She looked up one last time and whispered, "Tell me, do humans still believe in second chances?" Then she passed out. Eli stared at her, unsure what to do. He could kill her. No one would question it. She was the enemy, the cause of so much death. But something didn't feel right. He checked her pulse. Weak. He looked at the ship. It was dying too. Then his drone beeped. An object was approaching from the sky. Fast. Color. Ship detected. His heart stopped. He had a choice to make: run back and warn the colony, or take the alien girl with him and find out what she knew. He looked down at her again. She was not like any alien he had seen. She was powerful, but vulnerable. Like someone running from something even scarier than death. Eli made his choice. Lifted her gently and whispered to himself, "If this is the end of the world, I want to know who started it." And then, the sky above roared again. The hunt had begun. Asterisk. The sun had not risen yet, but Eli had already crossed the wastelands. Again, this time, carrying the enemy. The alien girl, unconscious in his arms, weighed less than he expected. Her silver skin glowed faintly in the dark, and every few seconds, her body gave off a small pulse of heat. She was changing. Weakening, maybe dying. Eli didn't know. He had no time to think about it. The drone had confirmed it, a color scout. Ship was in orbit. That meant the real monsters were already here. Got at the colony gates. Guards pointed their rifles at Eli. "Stand down," one shouted. "Drop the alien." Ayla didn't flinch. "She's not a threat," he said, walking closer. "Not yet, but what's coming will be." The council was furious. Commander Ruth paced the floor of the war room. "You brought an alien into our home?" Eli stood his ground. "She warned us. The colors are coming. We need to know what she knows." "You think she's telling the truth?" Ruth asked. "What if she's their spy?" Eli didn't blink. "What if she's our only chance?" After a tense silence, Ruth gave a cold nod. "Fine, she lives. For now, but you're responsible." "For her." The alien girl woke in a medical bay surrounded by plasma walls. She sat up fast, her hands glowing, but the energy sparked and faded. Her strength was not the same. Eli stood behind the glass. "You're safe, for now." She turned, her voice calm but sharp. "Safety is an illusion." "I'm Eli," he said. "What's your name?" She hesitated. "Zillara." He repeated it slowly. "Gilara. That's alien royalty, isn't it?" Zilara's eyes narrowed. "I was born to rule stars. And now I can't even heal a scratch." Eli noticed a bandage on her arm. For her kind, even a bruise was rare. "What's happening to you?" She looked away. "I don't know." Over the next few days, Eli and Zillara spent hours together, talking, watching old Earth films, eating or trying to. Zillara hated human food. "You call this nourishment?" she said, poking at dry rations. Eli chuckled. "Hey, it's better than glowing space goo." Their conversations shifted. She told him about her people, the Lunari. A proud race, cold, calculated. They once considered humans as nothing more than loud insects. "I believed we were perfect," she said. "But then, we met the colors." She explained how the colors destroyed entire solar systems, not for conquest, but for cleansing. They believed only silence was purity. They don't speak, don't negotiate. They just erase. "And why are they after you?" Eli asked. Zilara's face grew dark. "I tried to stop them. I disobeyed my own kind to warn others. They saw it as betrayal. I became a fugitive." Eli watched her carefully. "So why Earth?" She looked at him for a long moment. "Because Earth fights back. No other species made the colors bleed." One evening, alarms rang again. A color probe had landed outside the colony. Eli ran to the command room. On the screen was a dark creature, tall, faceless, covered in black armor. It moved silently, scanning the area. Commander Ruth turned to Eli. "Ask your guest how to kill that thing." In the med bay, Zillara studied the image. "That's not a scout," she said. "It's a reaper. If it finds your people, it will. Mark this location, and the colors will come in full force." Eli grabbed his gear. "Then we destroy it first." Zillara stood up, still weak. "I'm coming with you." "You can barely walk," Eli said. "I don't need to walk. I just need to aim." In the night fog, Eli and Zillara approached the Reaper. It was near a ruined tower, scanning the ground. Zilara's hands glowed faintly again. She winced. Her powers were unstable. Eli moved forward. Slowly, carefully, the Reaper turned. Eli fired first. The pulse blast hit the creature, barely a dent. It charged. Eli dove to the side, yelling, "Zillara, now!" She raised her hands. And something happened. A wave of energy burst out, but it wasn't strong. It was different. The creature stopped. Confused. Then, from her hand, a new light appeared, golden, like the sun. The Reaper howled and exploded in a burst of dust. Xylera fell to her knees, gasping. Eli rushed to her. What was that? She looked at her hands, shaking. I don't know. That wasn't Lunari power. Back in the colony, people gathered. Eli told them everything. She saved me. She saved all of us. Commander Ruth remained cold. She's still alien, still dangerous. Xylera stood, holding her side. So are you. But her voice had changed, softer, more human. Later that night, as they sat near a fire, Eli looked at her. You didn't have to save me. I didn't do it for you, she replied. Then why? She looked up at the stars. Because something inside me is changing. I feel pain, fear, hunger, mortality. I think your planet, your people, are rewriting me. Eli smiled, half joking. Maybe you're turning human. Xylera didn't smile back. That's what scares me the most. The sky above New Terra was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of silence that didn't bring peace. It brought fear. Inside the colony walls, people moved quickly, building defenses, charging old weapons, preparing like it was the end of the world. Because maybe it was. A day ago, a Reaper, a scout from the Colors, had been destroyed just outside the colony. That should have been a victory. But it sends single quotes because now they knew the Colors were watching, and they never watched for long before they attacked. Eli sat on the edge of a high metal platform overlooking the city. He watched people below. Tired, angry, scared. He felt the same. Next to him stood Xylera. Her long silver hair blew softly in the wind. She no longer wore her alien armor. Instead, she wore a stitched-together human coat, too big for her. It made her look strangely small and painfully mortal. Why aren't you training with them? She asked Eli. I did my part, he said. Taught them everything I know. Guns, drones, traps. The rest is on them. And what about you? She asked. Eli didn't answer. He looked at her hands, once powerful, glowing with alien energy. Now they trembled sometimes when she picked up a tool. You're not healing, he said quietly. No, she replied. I think I've passed the point of no return. Because of me? He asked. Because of this place, she replied. The air, the gravity, the feelings, she hesitated. You humans feel too much. That's not how my kind survives. Later that night, the council gathered. The decision was made. If the Colors attacked, they'd evacuate the colony, leave behind anyone who couldn't move. Eli was furious. You're planning to run? He shouted. We should be fighting. We don't stand a chance, Ruth replied. Our weapons barely scratch them. Our ships are decades old. Xylera stood, facing the council. There is a weapon, she said, buried beneath your colony. My people left it here during the last war. A failsafe. Ruth glared. And why should we believe you? Because I've already activated it, Xylera said. It only needs a power source, a living one. Everyone stared at her. You mean? A sacrifice, Eli whispered. Xylera didn't answer. That night, someone tried to kill her. A man entered her room with a knife, a colonist who lost his daughter in the last alien war. He didn't care that she had changed. He saw silver skin and thought enemy. She didn't fight back, but before the knife could reach her, Ailey tackled the attacker to the ground. Blood spilled, not Zile's. He took the cut for her. The man ran. The guards chased him, but Ely stayed on the floor, gripping his side. Breathing hard, Xylera crawled to him, holding his face. You fool, she whispered. Yeah, Eli groaned. But I'm your fool now. The next morning, the sky turned red. Not from sunrise, from fire. Color ships appeared without warning, massive black triangles in the sky, humming with death. No sound, no message. Just war. They opened fire. Buildings crumbled, streets burned. Screams filled the air. Xylera stood on the tower, watching in silence. Then she turned. I need to go. Where? Eli asked. To the vault beneath this colony, to finish what I started. He grabbed her hand. I'm coming too. Beneath the colony was a forgotten tunnel, filled with dust, vines, and echoes. At the end, a door waited. Old alien tech. Still humming after all these years. Xylera pressed her palm against it. It opened with a low groan. Inside was a single chair, metallic, cold, woven with energy cables. It's a conversion chamber, she explained. It takes life and turns it into power. Eli stared. You're not doing this. I have to. No. Yes, she said firmly. I came here to warn you. Now I will finish it. If I survive, good. If I don't, promise me you'll keep our child safe. Eli froze. What? Xylera placed his hand on her stomach. You didn't think this bond was just emotional, did you? His knees nearly gave out. But you're not even human. No, she said softly. But somehow your world made the impossible possible. Outside, the colony was falling. Ruth screamed over Combs. Eli, where is she? We're losing people. He ignored it. Xylera stepped toward the chamber. Eli stopped her again. Let me do it. You'll die. So will you. She smiled, small, soft, tragic. I was born immortal. But I never knew life. Until I met you. And before he could stop her, she stepped into the chamber. The sky above New Terra split open. A beam of pure white light exploded upward, striking the color ships. One by one. They fell. Burning. Exploding. Gone. People stared from the rubble. From bunkers, from ruins. And then silence. Real silence. The colors were gone. Eli ran back to the chamber. Smoke filled the room. He found the chair empty. No body. No trace. Only a faint glow, and a soft voice in his head. Live. Eli, for both of us. Asterisk, the war was over. For now. The colors were gone, wiped out in a single, blinding flash of alien light that erupted from beneath the earth. People of New Terra called it the miracle. They said it was humanity's final weapon. A gift from the stars. But only a few knew the truth. It wasn't a weapon. It was a sacrifice. Eli. Morgan stood alone at the edge of the crater where the vault used to be. Smoke still rose from the ground. Dust floated like ghosts. And in the center of the ruins, something unexpected stirred, a faint pulse. He moved closer. And there, among melted steel and broken cables, lay a figure. Silver hair, glowing skin. It was her, Xylera, but something was different. She was breathing. Alive. Eli lifted her gently, whispering her name. Xylera. Her eyes opened slowly, but they were not glowing, not anymore. They were soft, gray, human-like. Her voice came out broken. Fragile. It didn't kill me. Eli held her tighter. No, it didn't. She touched his face. I can feel your skin, the wind, the pain. You're mortal, she whispered. I am no longer what I was. And then her hands began to bleed. They took shelter in a hidden lab beneath the colony. An old Lunari outpost Xylera had once accessed through her royal codes. No one else knew about it. There, surrounded by old tech and glowing data crystals, Eli wrapped her wounds. It was the first time she needed bandages. The first time she felt cold. She was becoming something new, and it scared her. I used to walk through fire, she said softly. I once survived in space for days without air. Now I can barely stand. Eli looked into her tired eyes. And yet you saved the world. Xylera didn't smile. I might have doomed it too. The next day, while exploring the lab, Eli made a discovery. A room full of ancient Lunari files. Frozen embryos. Glass pods. Strange symbols glowed on the walls. Project Genesis. He called Zelira in. She looked at the chamber. Shocked. This is Forbidden's technology, she said. Hybrid trials. My people tried to mix Lunari and human DNA during the early war, hoping to create a new generation. Stronger, smarter, balanced. Eli stared at the failed pods, some cracked, some shattered. All lifeless. And did it work? No, she said. Every subject died. The DNA wasn't compatible. Eli looked at her belly. And now? Zelira said nothing. She sat down slowly, placing a hand over her stomach. I feel something, she whispered. A heartbeat that isn't mine. And it's changing me. Eli knelt beside her. Changing you how? Emotionally. Physically. I don't just feel tired. I feel human. I get hungry. I get scared. I dream. At night, Zelira's dreams became darker. She saw visions, flashes of the future. A child. With glowing eyes. A ruined earth. A war between stars. Sometimes. The child laughed. Other times. The child destroyed entire worlds with a single scream. She woke up breathless, clutching her chest. Eli was always there. You're safe, he'd whisper. But she wasn't sure anymore. Meanwhile, the colony was rebuilding. The council asked questions. The people demanded answers. Where had the weapon come from? Was it Lunari, human, divine? And what about Zelira? Was she the hero or the next threat? Commander Ruth didn't trust her. Never had. And when rumors began to spread that Zelira was pregnant with a human child, people began to whisper in fear. Half alien, half god, half monster. Eli confronted the council. She saved us, he said. She gave up everything. And now she's something new, Ruth replied. And we don't know what that something is. One night while Zelira was meditating in the lab, something strange happened. A data crystal glowed by itself. She touched it, and a hologram appeared. A message from centuries ago. An ancient Lunari scientist. If this message is playing, the hologram said, it means the Genesis child survived. We believed it was impossible. But if it exists, know this. The child is the bridge, or the end. Its emotions will guide its evolution. Raise it with war, and it will become destruction. Raise it with love, and it will become salvation. Zelira sat frozen. Was this child truly meant to end something? Or begin something far greater? Later that night, she told Eli everything. About Project Genesis. About the risk. About the prophecy. He didn't blink. We raise it with love, he said. We raise it together. She looked at him. You really believe a human and a fallen immortal can raise a being that could destroy galaxies? Eli nodded. Absolutely. You already changed one. But not everyone agreed. The next day, someone sabotaged the lab. An explosion. Zelira and Eli barely escaped. Old files. Gone. The embryos melted. Their only refuge destroyed. They stood in the rubble. Blood on Eli's face. Smoke in the air. Zelira looked around with empty eyes. They'll never stop fearing us. Eli gripped her hand. Then we don't hide anymore. She looked up. For our child? For everyone, he said. But far above Earth, beyond human vision. Something watched. A ship. Ancient. Silent. Not color. Not Luna R.I. Older. It scanned Earth. Then locked onto one signal. A hybrid heartbeat. It turned and began its descent. The stars were no longer silent. 1 week had passed since the lab explosion. Since the whispers of betrayal began spreading through the colony like a virus. Since Zelira's body started to change even faster. Her heartbeat was now slow. Human. Slow. Her skin had faded, no longer silver, but pale like moonlight. She bled when she was cut. She cried when she dreamed. And every day, The small life inside her grew stronger. Eli watched her sleep, curled up beneath salvaged blankets in their bunker, beneath the ruined Combs Tower. She didn't look like an alien anymore. She looked like someone he couldn't imagine living without. But peace never lasted. One morning, the long-range scanners triggered, something massive entering the solar system. Not color, not human. It was Lunari, a royal-class ship, sleek, silent, pure white and gold. A vessel that only moved when the stars gave permission. And now it hovered above Earth like a ghost from Zilura's past. Eli stared at it from the colony tower, his chest tightening. They're here for her, he said. Commander Ruth appeared beside him. And for the child, she added. You know what this means. Eli nodded. They'll want to take her back, force her to finish what she started. Or erase what they fear, Ruth said grimly. The Lunari ship sent down a message. A direct transmission. Not in English. Not in any Earth language, but Zilura understood it. She stood in the war room, her face unreadable, her body weak from the pregnancy. What did they say? Eli asked. Her voice was cold. They want me back. They want the child. They say I've defected, that I've corrupted Lunari blood. Will they negotiate? Ruth asked. Zilura laughed once, bitterly. My people do not negotiate with traitors. Later, Zilura sat alone in the gardens, the last living ones inside New Terra, surrounded by dying trees and fractured soil. She placed her hand on her belly. You don't belong anywhere, she whispered to the child. Not Lunari. Not human, just caught in between. Eli found her there. They can't force you, he said gently. Zilura didn't look at him. They don't have to. The law of my people is simple. The child belongs to the stars. To them, it is not mine. To keep. Eli dropped beside her, gripping her hand. You gave up your immortality. You bled for us. You chose Earth. That child belongs to you, and me, and the future. She finally met his eyes. I've never been so afraid. Good, he whispered. That means you're human now. That night, the sky above the colony turned golden. The Lunari ship opened. From it descended a being unlike anything the humans had seen, tall, glowing, armored in light. She was called Archon Velisa, one of the 7 celestial regions of the Lunari Empire, and she was Zilura's aunt. Her voice echoed across the colony without sound, straight into the minds of all. Return the bearer and the hybrid child. No harm shall come to your species. Eli stood in front of Zilura, gun in hand. No. Archon Velisa turned her glowing eyes to him. You would deny your mate her true place? She already found it, Eli growled. Right here. With U.S. The council panicked. Commander Ruth pulled Eli aside. You're going to get everyone killed. We can't fight them. Not after the colors. If there's a way to save the colony, you want to hand her over? Eli snapped. After everything she's done? She's not one of us, Ruth whispered. She's more human than you'll ever be. Zilura stood on the tower, staring at the stars. Her hands shook. Not from fear. From grief she had made. Her decision, when Eli found her, she already had her bag packed. No, he said. Don't do this. I have to, she whispered. They will keep coming. You and the colony. They'll never be safe. Let them try. He shouted. We'll fight, together. I am carrying the only hybrid in known history, she said, her voice breaking. They won't stop until they have me, or until I'm gone. Eli stepped back, eyes burning. Then we go together. But Zilura only smiled. You're strong, Eli, but you're not immortal, not anymore. And neither am I, but this child. They could be something better. Before dawn, the colony watched as Zilura walked to the landing field. Alone, Velisa waited, arms open. But as Zilura stepped forward, she stopped. Her hand went to her stomach, and then she turned. No. The Archon's eyes narrowed. You would reject the stars? I choose humanity, Zaylera said. I choose my child. I choose the man who taught me what it means to love without logic, to feel without permission. The air trembled. Velisa raised her hand. Then you are no longer Lunari. Good, Zaylera whispered. And then a blast of light struck her. But something unexpected happened. Zaylera didn't fall. She stood, surrounded by golden energy. Not Lunari, not human. Something new. The child's energy surged through her, shielding her, changing her further. Velisa stepped back, stunned. You merged, Zaylera's voice echoed. No, I evolved. Velisa left Earth that day, in silence. No threat. No warning. Just silence. Because something ancient in Lunari law had been broken, and something far more powerful had just begun. Back in the colony, Eli held Zaylera tightly. You didn't have to stay, he whispered. Yes, she said. I did. She looked up at the stars one last time. Because for the first time, I belong here. 3 weeks passed. Zaylera stayed. Eli stayed by her side, and inside her, the child grew. Not just in size, but in energy. The hybrid heartbeat pulsed like a signal across space. And far beyond Earth, something responded. Deep in the blackness between galaxies, buried beneath forgotten ruins of dead stars, a machine woke up. It was called the Final Protocol, a failsafe built by ancient civilizations long gone. Its purpose? To detect forbidden evolution. When it sensed hybrid life forms, mixes of rival species, it activated a simple command call on extinction. Back on Earth, life was beginning again. New Terra's people rebuilt homes, planted crops, and dreamed again for the first time in decades. But Zaylera felt it. The sky didn't feel safe anymore. The stars didn't feel quiet, and her child, still unborn, had started dreaming. She woke up one night gasping, her hands sparking with energy she couldn't control. The air around her turned cold, then hot, then silent. Eli sat up. What is it? He's reaching out, she whispered. Not with words, with instinct. He's not just growing. He's calling. The next day, Ailey received an alert from an old satellite. A signal was coming from deep space. Artificial, massive. Commander Ruth read the data. Her face turned white. This isn't Lunari, it's not color, it's older than both. What does it want? Eli asked. Ruth turned the screen toward him. On it, only one translated word appeared. Kalan purge. The signal wasn't just coming. It was rewriting tech on Earth, shutting down power grids, melting code, disrupting weapons. The ancient machine was preparing Earth for extinction, sterilizing it before the hybrid child was born. Zaylera stood in the middle of the war room, clutching her stomach. It's not after the colony, she said softly. It's after him. Commander Ruth's eyes flickered. Then there's only one option. Eli stepped forward instantly. Don't say it. Ruth said it anyway. We end the pregnancy. That thing is a danger to the entire galaxy. Zaylera's body began to glow. Not as a weapon, but as a mother protecting her child. You kill him, she said coldly, and you'll prove you never deserved to survive the last war. Eli and Zaylera left the colony that night. Together. With nothing but a stolen rover, old tech, and a destination Zaylera barely remembered. A place hidden beneath the bones of ancient war, the Vault of Echoes. Forgotten alien facility deep in the Arctic wastes. It once held a core reactor with unmatched energy. Enough to power the stars, but more importantly, enough to counter the Final Protocol's extinction pulse. At a cost, the vault was buried in ice, guarded by old machines that barely moved. Any more. Inside, they found what they came for, a living core. Still beating, still burning, still waiting. Eli stared at the chamber. This is it? Zaylera nodded. We connect the core to the sky relay, pulse the planet, block the extinction signal. And what's the catch? Her silence told him everything. The reactor, she said softly, needs a conscious sacrifice. It must bond with a mind, a life form, one that chooses to end. Eli turned away. No, no way. You know it must be me, she said. I'm already marked. Already changed. You already gave up your immortality. Don't ask me to give up you too. She placed his hand on her stomach. I'm not asking, I'm giving, a future. Tears welled in his eyes. This wasn't supposed to end like this. Zillera smiled, gentle and true. It doesn't end, it becomes. They spent that night together. No words. Only warmth. Only breath. Only silence. In the morning, Eli helped her into the chamber. She placed her palm on the glowing console. The system came alive, detecting her biology, reading her heartbeat, accepting her will. The reactor began to charge. Her body glowed, not with power, but with peace. Eli leaned forward, resting his forehead against the glass. I'll tell him everything, he whispered. Every single day. Make sure he dreams like you, she replied. Not like me. The reactor exploded with light. Across Earth, every machine touched by the extinction signal rebooted. The purge ended. The final protocol shut down. The stars went silent again. And when Eli opened his eyes, the chamber was empty. No body. No voice. Only warmth in the air. And one final message burned into the reactor wall in Zillera's voice. He is the future, not because he is stronger, but because he was loved before he was born. Eli returned to the colony. Alone. But not broken. He carried in his arms a tiny newborn, silver eyes, human skin, pulsing softly with a power unlike anything Earth had seen. The colony didn't question. They simply made way. The boy was named Oren, and he would never know war the way his parents did. And he would never know war the way his parents did. But one day, he would learn, and he would choose. Far above, hidden deep in the stars, another signal was recorded. An unknown species wrote this in their logs. The hybrid has survived. The mother is gone, but her energy remains. Dormant, yet infinite. We must not interfere. For the child is now the guardian of Earth's future, and perhaps our own. 17 years later, the wind had changed. Not just the weather, but the world itself. Earth was no longer broken, no longer hiding. The colony of New Terra had become a city. Bright towers, clean air, living rivers. For the first time in a century, people smiled without fear. But in the center of the rebuilt world stood a boy, now a young man, who rarely smiled. Oren. Silver-eyed, silent, tall like his father, intense like his mother. His mere presence made machines flicker and stars tremble. But no one feared him, because Oren had never given them a reason to. He walked with peace. He fought only when needed. And when he listened, people felt heard. But inside him, something stirred. A voice he had never heard. A memory he had never lived. Until now. On the eve of his 17th birthday, Oren stood in the garden that once belonged to his mother, though he had never seen her. His father, Eli, stood beside him. Older now, grayer, but still strong. You said you'd tell me the truth when I turned 17. Oren said softly. Eli nodded. I was hoping you'd forget. Oren didn't smile. I never forget. That night, Eli opened a hidden chamber. In their home. Inside were only 3 things. A crystal pendant, a faded coat stitched from human and alien cloth, and a memory stone glowing dimly, pulsing like a heartbeat. Oren touched the stone, and the world around him changed. He found himself standing on a different Earth, a broken one, with flames in the sky and alien ships above. He saw her, his mother, standing tall, glowing, wounded but fearless. She turned toward him, as if she saw him across time. You are the reason I chose pain over power, her voice said in his mind. You are my second life, my unfinished story. The echo. I left behind. Oren's throat tightened. He reached for her, but she was gone. The memory ended. Back in the chamber, Ele watched his son closely. She gave everything for you, he said. She sacrificed immortality, then existence. Oren closed his eyes. And what do I do now? Live, Eli said. But there's more. Something I've hidden, not to protect you, but to protect everyone else. He handed Oren a sealed data drive. The Lunari left behind a message, a prophecy, one that only you can unlock. Later that night, Oren stood in the old signal tower, the same place where his parents once stood during the Color War. He inserted the drive. A hologram flickered to life, thought it was Archonvalisa, his mother's aunt, the woman who once tried to take her back. If the child survives, if he reaches maturity, and the stars remain unshaken, then the final choice must be offered. Oren frowned. The final choice is this: merge with the core of creation, and rewrite the code of life across the galaxy, or destroy it. You will have power no one else has ever held. Power to heal, power to erase, power to shape what life even means. But you cannot walk away. You must choose. For the next week, Oren walked the city in silence. People greeted him kindly. Children asked him questions. Strangers offered him tea. He saw what his parents had protected, but he also saw what they had left unsolved. Some colonies still fought over old weapons. Some feared aliens more than ever. Some wanted to crown Oren as a god. He was 17. But people already wanted him to carry the galaxy. On the 8th day, the sky split open, not in fire, but in light. A celestial beacon, once thought lost, returned from deep space. It hovered above Earth, waiting, and Oren understood. His time had come. Eli walked with his son to the launch bay. You don't have to go, he said. I do, Oren replied. Because Mom did. Eli smiled sadly. She would be proud. She is proud, Oren said. I can feel it. Ele held him one last time. You're not a weapon. You're a wonder. The beacon accepted him without hesitation. Inside was silence, endless, timeless, peaceful. At the center, a chamber waited. It pulsed with energy not made by stars, but by will. Here, Oren saw them, echoes of every race, human, Lunari, color, even forgotten species. And above them all, a single code thread, the genetic spine of life. He could see it, touch it. Change it, but he didn't, not yet. Instead, he whispered, "Show me my mother." And there she was, not as a ghost, but as memory made light. Zillera smiled. Hello, Oren. He broke. He wept. She didn't. She only stood beside him. You made it. I'm scared, he said. Good, she whispered. Only the unworthy are fearless. The core spoke. Choose. Rebuild the universe in your image, or end it. Stop the pain forever. Oren looked at the code. Then he looked at the memory of his mother. I don't want to be a god, he said. I don't want to be a weapon. I want to be someone my parents would trust. He did neither. He didn't rebuild. He didn't erase. He rewrote. Not the stars, but the rule. He added one single line of code. No being may hold power unless they first learn to love. Then he stepped away. The core dimmed. The beacon dissolved. And Oren returned to Earth. Fully human. Epilogue. Decades passed. Oren never claimed a throne, never led an army. Never became a god. He became a teacher, a guardian, a storyteller. He told the galaxy the story of a girl from the stars who gave up forever just to feel love. For a single lifetime. And every time someone asked, what did your mother teach you? He would say that it's better to feel pain and love than to live forever and feel nothing at all.